Hello, everyone. Good morning again. Welcome to the 10-Minute Trades Trade Room, CB Consumer Confidence. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the Trading Director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember, all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so trade carefully. All right. Unfortunately, my NQ open already did what I was going to do at the open. So, we're starting pretty much 40 seconds late. I was definitely going to take a short for a gap fill. The NQ was up about 18 points when I put the screen on for the for the trade room. So I'm not going to do anything now on the NQ. It already did my trade, so it's unfortunate. I was looking at a short. And I know you believe me. All right, so we're here for CB Consumer Confidence is the real reason we're here. And I do want to welcome our YouTube streamers who are watching on YouTube. And I'll remind everybody that you can still join the challenge. Starts Thursday. No matter what, it'll be a great refresh. Definitely will be a great refresh if you need it. Here's the link if you want to sign up. All right, this morning we've got CB Consumer Confidence. I don't trade it on the NQ. If anything, maybe you could look at it on the ES. We are trading it on gold. So just watching as the market's open right now. I'm just curious, do most of you use the investing.com website? I'm just curious. Do you use the investing.com website on your own trading, like on your own charts? Do you use that calendar? No one uses it. Okay. So, okay, interesting. No. Wow. Okay, so type in how you are. Okay, Langford, you use it. Larry, you use Forex Factory. So if you're trading the news, okay. Yeah, type in what you use. That's what I want to know. Mark is on the juice. Joe likes Forex Factory. Chantal, I know, likes the juice. Alberto likes the juice. Doc, Forex Factory. Joe, I'm ready to get back on the juice right now. That NQ short was going to be a scalp too, which looks like it was the perfect setup this morning. I was going to go for 30 ticks. No joke. I know you believe me when I tell you something. I don't make it up. That's what I was going to do. Calvin, you read the DMF. Calvin, you are the craziest person I ever met. The NQ master, right? It was a perfect setup this morning. The markets were a little bit worried overnight, it seemed. They couldn't really get going to the upside. And there was a positive gap, a couple of minutes before the open. It was a perfect gap fill. But I had a feeling it was going to take place like instantly this morning. And the gap was very small. That 11-point gap could be filled like in a minute, not even a couple of seconds. 11,640. Nice. Nice. Yeah, right before the open. And now it's, I think the markets are going to go down today. I think they're going to, it may not be I'm not saying it's going to be a horrible day. It just looks like there's downward pressure this morning. You know, for us, it doesn't matter all that much for the way that we trade. How many ligaments are there in a knee? How many ligaments, how many things, different things can you tear in one knee? Doc, how many different things can be torn in one knee? That's what I'm curious about. I guess you've got, are there more than 2 ligaments? You can see I know a lot about the anatomy of the knee. A lot, okay. I think I've torn them all, but I don't know that yet. Kind of scared to get an MRI. All right, let's go and look at, so last month's, so you got 3, there's 3 things you can tear. 4, that looks like 4. Let's say you have a tear. Is it automatic surgery always? Is it always surgery for a tear? Okay, just curious. All right, let's look at CB Consumer last month. Last month, thank you, Doc, was a stop out. And CB Consumer has been trading pretty nicely. Last month, it was kind of due for a whippy kind of trade. And that's exactly what we got. And I don't mind, you know, I'll probably, well, let's wait for a minute. So the setup we used last month was a 12 bracket. It didn't really matter. You couldn't really save yourself from last month. When you get a whipsaw like this, it's just, you just have to chalk it up to a bad trade. You can't really protect yourself when it moves in 2 opposite directions like that. It's just, it's too big of a move on the opposite of where you were filled. So, and you're not going to have a 50 tick bracket on CB Consumer Confidence. You're just not. So last month was a stop. And then the month before, let's pull up the DMM now. So you can see it's been trading very nicely, okay? So, you know, you get a stop and you can't cry in the corner based on those, based on that result. You know, look, when you have a report that's trading well and you get a stop, you almost welcome the stop because eventually there has to be one. You're not going to get every trade to be a winner. So I think we did some, Chantal and I always do extra testing when the week starts. Try to do our testing on Mondays. And we looked at CB Consumer, and a bracket between 8 and 12 is fine. So I'm not a lover of 8. I just think 8 is a little bit tight in these markets. So I'm going to go 12 today. And my first target, I'm going to look for 7 ticks, or let's look for 8 ticks. And my second target, and I'm debating if I want to trade 2 contracts. I think from now until the beginning of the year, we're not quite in holiday trading yet. Now, last week was holiday trading. This week, it's not holiday trading. It's back to pretty normal. So I'll go for a second target of 19 ticks. And the stop, we looked at the stop. I'm going to go for like a 13 stop on this. I'm expecting a decent move. I'm not expecting, if we get a whippy, crazy kind of move, then it's not going to work, right? It's not going to work. Now, gold's responding to the open. So I'm looking for a target of 8, a target of 19, a stop of 13 with a bracket of 12. It's generally has not been the type of trade in general that does big whippy reversals. It's also a report that often trades with other news. It often trades with other news. And today it's not. It trades with jolts. It trades with new homes. So we'll see if we get an interesting move or not. The news that's expected, let me make sure that we have our entry time. 9:59:59, can't forget that. So it's a breakout trade, entry 9:59:59, bracket of 12. 2 targets for 8 and 19, a stop of 13. Pretty straight ahead conservative trade. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Let's test our time sync. Just looking to see who's here. Okay, our time sync. So how do we check our time sync? There's a couple of ways. You could try, look at the ES, wow. Just reading some news that, China is not our friend. China is willing to boost Russian energy cooperation. Unbelievable. Remember they used to call it the axis of evil? What was the axis of evil? It was Iran. Was it Iran, China, and Russia? That's when Bush was president. One of the Bushes. Is that what the axis of evil was? I don't know. I don't remember. Somebody Google axis of evil. Okay, time sync, right? We were talking about time sync. I've been using dimension 4 when I need it because Windows time sync doesn't work. You know, you go to right click the time, on your computer, and it opens adjust date and time. And then depending what version of Windows you're running, you could try syncing, and it often doesn't sync. A lot of times, even though you get a Windows error that it didn't sync, it actually does. That's the funny thing about it. But so the first thing we do, just as a refresh, we go to time.is. And I should have bought those Sony Link Buds yesterday. They actually had a better price. Usually Cyber Monday is fake. The prices aren't any better. But they actually were better on the Sony Link Buds S. So I can't buy them now. We go to the website Time Is. And my computer is in sync. It checks to see if my computer is in sync. And then there's two other tools that people like. We like dimension 4 if your computer is not in sync. You can use dimension 4. And then other people like Gertrude's time sync. What's the name of the woman? Karen. Karen's time sync. So if you want, some people say, I like Karen's time sync better than dimension 4. So Karen's time sync, you can just download it. It's free. And if your computer has trouble getting into sync, Karen is much easier. Yep, that's what I heard. Dimension 4. They look a lot alike. I mean, they really do look a lot alike. So I'll load up Karen for for December maybe, and we'll just look at a different time sync for a change. But I've been using Dimension 4 for years. It's pretty easy. Let's look at 2 months ago, CB Consumer. And it was trading with new homes. It was a nice move that day. So Karen time sync. Nice consumer confidence. Also, you know, it could have been affected by new home sales also. Very possible. And then 3 months ago, I'm going to really watch what I say because what I was thinking would have just got me fired. But I'm glad I didn't say it. 3 months ago, consumer confidence. Looked like 2 months ago almost. So it's been moving, you could see the kind of moves we've been getting out of it. $2 to $4 with slippage. Now they're expecting 100, lower than last month. And I'm just looking at other news that's been crossing the wire this morning. You know, you had the U.S. price index, which doesn't really seem to do much for a trade, nor does Redbook. But we do have Beige Book tomorrow. So we'll spend a few minutes looking at Beige Book tomorrow. So let's look at our setup one more time. Activation time is 9:59:59, a bracket at 12, targets of 8 and 19 with a stop of 13. Okay, that's what I'm using this morning. It's pretty close to the DMM, slightly bigger bracket. Let me test my bracket size by putting my time to 0, putting my charts on sim so I don't accidentally enter a trade early. Then you got to put your charts on sim. Then you can enable your trade, and those brackets are good. That's good. Good size. And then you just reverse what you did. So the time goes back to 9. 9:59:59 is our activation time. Then I'm going to go back, said the monster. Turn the charts on live, apply it and okay it, and then put my charts back. And now, right, did I change my time? You can always triple check to make sure your time is correct, because you don't want to be live and accidentally trigger your brackets early. We all do that occasionally. I've triggered my brackets early. It happens. All right, so we got about 6 minutes for consumer confidence. After consumer confidence, we'll be back here at 4 for the API report, right? So we will be here for API. And I'm assuming I can function, and we'll do an 8:15 China manufacturing, non-manufacturing. Okay? That's at 8:15. How was my Thanksgiving? Joe? It was okay. How was yours? Not bad. Boston market was closed, so I had Chinese food. No, it was very uneventful. I was supposed to go somewhere, and I just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. So honestly, I was a little bit disappointed with my Thanksgiving. But I wanted to go to the mountains I couldn't get it together, which is probably for the best. Yes, my daughter has a house in the Poconos, and I guess Jim Thorpe is the Poconos, right? That counts. Yeah. She has a house in Jim Thorpe. It's really nice there. And I just couldn't go. I couldn't go. I'm just swollen all over. Jim Thorpe is beautiful. Love it there. It's a nice town. They have the greatest candy store. I'm eating Bonomo Turkish taffy. I feel like I'm 7 years old again. Bonomino. I've heard their commercials. And it's not even the right spelling. It is the epitome of small town, insane people USA. Yep. If you wear a mask in that town, you get beat up. All right, we got 3.5 minutes. 3.5 minutes. It's a beautiful place. Really nice little stores. The dumbest people running that town. I've never seen stupider people in my life. The whole point of that town is tourism, and they just make it miserable for people that do Airbnb. If you don't have parking, they won't let you have an Airbnb. It's just unbelievable how ignorant the people are that run that town. It's mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. They have a gold mine and they cripple it. They absolutely cripple it for people. And nobody fights them. I don't understand it. There used to be a whole bunch of Airbnbs, and it's really hard to park in that particular town. And if you don't have your own parking, they don't allow you to do an Airbnb. It just is nonsensical. Anyway, it's still a great place. Really great place. No, Joe, it's just I wouldn't even say it was an investment property. It was a house she bought because she loved it up there. And I always had a second home. It was just something that, so in my family, like, people think about getting a second home because it was part of what we always used to do. And they Airbnb it. Fortunately, they have parking. It's a really beautiful house. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's like a Victorian. You know, that town is like, it's not quite as Victorian as Cape May in New Jersey, but it's got some beautiful Victorian homes. It's an old town. And I don't know how to pronounce the name of the next town over. Lehighton? Lehighton? I love Wildwood. I love Cape May is my favorite, Joe. But that's because I'm a woman. I'm basically a woman. I love Victorian homes. I shouldn't say that, you know. It's not, that's like really old fashioned to say that. I like doilies. What could I tell you? I love Victorian. I love the whole Victorian thing. I don't know why. My ex-wife and I used to always go to Cape May. We had our best fights in Cape May. Stayed at the Grand Hotel, Joe, 100 times probably. Had a million arguments at the Grand Hotel. Should have got divorced there. All right, we got 20 seconds. Okay, the news came out, and it's really, there's no reaction. There's no reaction. It's abnormal. I'm canceling. It's abnormal. I'm canceling. It could go up. I don't really care. It could go down. I was going to cancel the trade when we had that little weird move down. Okay. That was not normal. Okay. It was not normal. Now, look, if you stayed in, you have an opportunity to get some ticks here. Okay. But in theory, gold should head down on that news, but it's very up today. It's very up. But it was an abnormal reaction. That's why I canceled. If you'd stayed in, it's okay. That's because, Chantal, I heard it in my headset. I heard it in my headset. I heard the news in my headset. Chantal said it was not out on investing.com. And that, of course, is very possible because I'm listening on my headset. So I want to thank everybody on YouTube for watching. Chantal, you can shut it down. And thanks, and join our challenge on YouTube, www.tradelifechallenge.com. We start Thursday. So I'll see you all on Thursday. Thanks for watching.